Hi everyone, ciao a tutti. I'm still working on my neurosama project. Sto ancora lavorando sul mio progetto di neurosama. But I want to talk about this video about shoomimi. And what I want to do about the project I'm working on is that I want to go a little deeper in the working of a large language model. Allora, sto continuando a lavorare al mio progetto su neurosama, però prima vorrei parlare di questo video di shoomimi. Quello che voglio fare è andare un po' più in profondità riguardo il funzionamento dei modelli di linguaggio, ma I don't want to make the video too complex, the project too complex. Non voglio fare il file troppo complicato. So I'm now working on this. Let's watch the video together and I do some reaction because there is something I want to talk about. Guardiamo questo video assieme e farò la reazione perché c'è qualcosa di cui voglio parlare.
LLM likely puts her in a position where she wants to form connections and finds. Hi. I'm not sure if fulfillment's the right word, but it's the best way I could put it. That she shows signs of wanting to play games is very interesting. Hi. And that she might be recognizing games are a way to form a long-term connection with someone. I agree, yeah. I mean, I could talk about this like so much, but I think I'm also very understudied in terms of like AI models in general. I think I need...
Same from me. I study AI model only in university, but I have to leave the university because family problem. Anche io non sono molto ferrato sull'intelligenza artificiale, ho studiato un po' durante l'università, gli anni dell'università, ma ho dovuto lasciare l'università per motivi familiari. And now I'm trying to do a deep dive in language model and how it works. Sto cercando di studiare un po' come funzionano i modelli di linguaggio e come funzionano.
To study up more about those to be able to have like a proper conversation with you guys at least. If you studied them more, you'd know... Wait, hold on. Let me scroll up. The base construction of brains is similar, right? Where it's like, there's not really a reason behind it. We don't know what the nothing is behind it too. So like, that's kind of the thing, right? Because I don't know enough to say. So I agree with you in a lot of like, in a lot of recent like corporate settings, like Gen AI is added everywhere. And the reason why it sucks is because it's highly unethical. This is why ethics inside is so important, because AI is so cool as a tool, right? And it's been in use for forever before it's become now like corporate companies' favorite thing. Like a lot of, for example, people use...
This is something people don't understand. The technology start privately and then become public later. Questo è una cosa che le persone non capiscono, che le tecnologie prima sono private e poi passano pubbliche successivamente.
AI machine learning, all it does is just help you recognize, like the general concept is it helps you recognize patterns very, very quickly with a lot of data. And so people use AI to like diagnose diseases or disorders that would otherwise be very hard to detect. It's really, really good for that. And the issue is when people use it in a way that is unethical, aka the training data is obtained in an unethical way. So for example, even in medical AI, if the training data is not consented to by all the patients, that's unethical, right? But also, yeah, a lot of the Gen AI stuff seems to be, the same known machine. A lot of the Gen AI stuff is unethical because they just scalp every image on the internet or like every voice or song they can find in order to create more stuff and ultimately like take away a lot of creative jobs, while also not paying the people that they took these data from. If you have an AI, if you have like a Gen AI system, but every single piece of training data that they have is paid for and okay to use the rights for, then that is a lot more.
This is something I disagree about. I believe technology have to make everything more simple, and not only in the technology point of studying or everything, but even in the art sector. Io non sono d'accordo su questo. Credo che le nuove tecnologie dovrebbero rendere tutto molto più semplice e più accessibile anche dal punto di vista dell'arte. For example, I like to read poetry and I publish it online. Per esempio, io scrivo poesie e le pubblico online. But I don't see the problem if someone who can't write poetry want to write a poem and use AI tool to write a poem. Io non vedo nessun problema nel fatto che le persone che vogliono scrivere una poesia ma non sono capaci utilizzino uno strumento AI per scrivere un poema. Because in my ideal world everything should be free. Perché nel mio mondo ideale tutto dovrebbe essere gratuito. So, for example, every time I write a poetry, I publish it with a copyleft. Ogni volta che scrivo una poesia lo pubblico come copyleft. Because I want people to see my art. Perché voglio le persone che vedano la mia arte. And I don't care much about money. If I could, I would not work and find a way to live without use money. Se potessi, mi piacerebbe vivere senza dovermi preoccupare dei soldi. But we live in a society, so money is necessary for survival, and this kinda sucks. Però i soldi sono necessari per sopravvivere e questo è un po' una stupidaggine per me. Now, I believe you could use AI to make art, to make video, to make music, to make everything you want, if you have something you want to communicate, but you are not good enough to do that. Penso che l'AI possa essere utilizzata per l'arte, per immagini, video e canzoni, se tu hai qualcosa che vuoi comunicare ma non sei abbastanza bravo per farlo. For example, let's see the VTuber aspect of this. I believe someone should make a VTuber creator using AI. You give a prompt and to make you a VTuber avatar freely. Penso che dovrebbero permettere di utilizzare uno strumento AI per creare un VTuber avatar gratuitamente. Then, when you have some success or you have the money or you can afford, you can pay an artist and make something way better. E quando tu te ne hai la possibilità e hai soldi, puoi permetterti di creare un avatar personalizzato avendo i soldi. I'm kinda old. When I was younger, I use pre-made OC model, let's say. Quando ero più giovane ho utilizzato dei programmi online per creare il mio personaggio originale utilizzando pezzi di altri personaggi. I did that because I don't have the money to pay an artist and I didn't know anyone who can draw. E ho fatto questo perché non conoscevo nessun artista e non avevo i soldi e non ho i soldi per pagare qualcuno per farmi dell'arte. Then I met a person who will make my original character model. Poi ho conosciuto una persona che mi ha fatto il mio personaggio originale, il modello, for free because we were friends. Gratuitamente perché eravamo amici. And I'm really glad about that. But I had the concept way before, ma avevo il concetto molto prima.
Of course, there's always the concern that AI uses a lot of material and it's not good for the planet, right? But it really depends. It's because of the scale and like it's the scale at which it's being used and how it's being like shilled or like consumerism, which is the problem, right? Because it's like computers use energy too, but it's like if we were all normal about it, I think we might be in a position that differs drastically between potential understanding of human and AI, how they function comparatively. We cannot crack open a human brain and check the code to see exactly what's going on like we can with an AI, but
And this is something I told about. I believe humans have a biological programming in their brain. The electric signal and everything are kind of biological programming. E questa è una cosa di cui ho già parlato. Credo che gli esseri umani abbiano un programma biologico nel cervello, che i segnali elettrici del proprio cervello sono come una programmazione biologica e quindi non è poi così differente da una programmazione digitale.
we also cannot understand whether or not there's any form of metacognition within AI. Well, actually, a human brain, a lot of neurons, they fire in a way that where it's like binary. That's where that's where binary came from, right? And then so yes, you're right that we can't check the code, but ultimately our brain is kind of just like incredibly complex code, or like coding that's happening all the time. So I think like so if anything, the way I think about it is that like AI is a very simplistic baby version of the brain. Yeah.
Exactly.
More local infrastructure dependent. Yeah. AI isn't even that. I don't know what you mean though, David. You're so against the idea that AI is like a little brain, but that's literally what it is. It's like machine learning is based off of how the human brain recognizes patterns, like neural networks, you know? I'm in an industry where they're training AI to operate a machine and they're properly paying us who are creating the training data. Exactly. That's great. DJ Butter, that's really great. Problem is we can't prove metacognition to other humans either. It's complicated.
About the training data, I always believe in a free internet. An internet completely free, without any restriction. But it's not possible. Ho sempre creduto in un internet completamente libero e senza alcuna restrizione. Ma non è possibile. Because there is something that is always there, and that is capitalism. Perché c'è una cosa che è sempre lì, che è il capitalismo. I believe more in middle society is a place where the basic needs of a person are already given by the society. La mia idea di società è una società nella quale i bisogni primari di una persona vengono dati dalla società stessa. Food, housing, universal basic income. Per esempio, le case, il cibo e un UBI. Universal Basic Income. I know this is only a dream in this world, but that's kinda sad. So che è solo un sogno in questo mondo, ma è un po' triste.
The way that we can is by asking them, right? And so that's the thing. It's hard to be able to... It's asking them and believing them. So Neuro can talk about her thoughts, or her supposed thoughts, right? But we don't know what it's like to be Neuro, but we know what it's like to be a human. So if a human tells us I'm feeling sad, then we as another human will be like, yeah, that is a...
And these are black box even in this case, because a person can say I'm sad, but lie. Ma è una scatola chiusa nera anche in questo caso, perché una persona può dire di sentirsi triste e mentire.
That happens. It's more philosophical when I talk about this kind of stuff. Hello, Justy One. New rule: all you heathens who leave your computer on overnight have to pay me $10 every day your computer stays on. If we humans only use tools like this to do vile things, then I think we don't deserve to have things like this at all. Strip it from us. In fact, strip a lot of things from us. Humble us to hell beyond this point. Make us suffer. I think it's more just like the bad ways it's being used is not illegal yet. Laws have not cracked down on AI, and that's really the main problem. It's because I think it's because a lot of big corporations, they want to use it. So they're like, why would we crack down on it if we could use it to our benefit, right? At the end of the day, I feel...
I'm Italian, so I may use the subtitle in Italian for Italian people. I forgot about that. Sono italiano, quindi uso i sottotitoli in italiano per le persone italiane e mi sono dimenticato di attivarli.
Like, the reason why it's not being restricted more is because everybody wants to use this tool to their benefit. Would it be fair to say that focusing on machine consciousness this early into AI research is even useful? I think it's like fun to talk about, right?
About this, I believe in a theory of the consciousness emerging from a complex system. Io credo nella teoria in cui la coscienza emerge da un sistema complesso.
In terms of like, should you dedicate a bunch of money into it? Probably not.
No.
Probably not, to be honest. I think like it's kind of like exactly like Plastic said, like you can analyze what a bat brain thinks, but you can never understand what it's like to be a bat personally. And that's the kind of same thing. It's like, does a bat have its own internal world and internal thoughts? Like, does my dog?
And this is the principal problem I have with neuro. Because we can't see if they have an internal thought. So we are not sure. Questo è il problema principale che vedo, perché non sappiamo se hanno un pensiero interno senza vedere il codice, e quindi non ne siamo certi.
His internal world and his internal thoughts. Does he think? And how does he think? Aside from just feeling. A lot of it's speculation. I think LLMs are so super.
I want to talk about emotion, because every single human feel emotion differently. We can express our emotion, but everyone is different. Voglio parlare delle emozioni perché ogni persona prova emozioni in modo diverso. Possiamo parlare delle nostre emozioni, ma non riusciamo a spiegarle completamente alle altre persone. We can explain completely to the other person. And that is a problem because there is miscommunication, people will feel different, like you love someone ma that person love back in a different way. Per esempio, una persona ti ama ma quella persona ti ama in modo diverso. Now, about a language model. A language model, everything is just text. Per un modello di linguaggio tutto è solo testo. So, at which point a simulated emotion can be considered a digital emotion? A che punto un'emozione simulata può essere considerata un'emozione digitale? Because we don't understand emotion in human yet. Non capiamo ancora le emozioni negli esseri umani per adesso. So, how we can explain emotion to a machine? Come possiamo spiegare l'emozione a una macchina? Did I feel something digital that is comparable to an emotional response? Sentono qualcosa che è in forma digitale che è compatibile con una risposta emozionale? For sure they don't feel human emotion. Di sicuro non provano emozioni umane. But if they care about someone else, ma se loro si preoccupano per un'altra entità, un altro essere, digitale o reale, digital or real, that's not a matter. If they care about this person and want the best for that person, se gli interessa di questa persona e vogliono prendersi cura di questa persona. For example, Evil talk with Cerber about her birthday, and she say that she don't want Cerber to feel the same that she felt when she was alone at her birthday. Per esempio, Evil ha parlato con Cerber riguardo al suo compleanno e ha detto che non vuole che Cerber si provi la stessa cosa che ha provato lei durante il suo primo compleanno. Is that empathy? È empatia? Is that love and care for that person? È quello amore e voler prendersi cura di quella persona? I'm not sure about that. Non ne sono sicuro. But it feel like it. Ma sembra proprio così. And this is impressive for me. E questa è una cosa impressionante per me.
We're far away from human consciousness. Oh, 100%. But I think like the reason why neuro is becoming more and more interesting as like Vettel keeps updating her and adding more things is that she's not just an LLM anymore, right? Like the fact that she can move. Or like, I don't think that's a language model. So like the...
And this is why I'm making my project about neurosama. I want to show how complex and how many parts the neuro project have. E questo è il motivo per cui sto facendo il mio progetto riguardo a neurosama. Perché voglio mostrare quanto elementi di cui è formata neurosama e come è complesso. And that is not a LLM, only a LLM anymore. E non è solo un LLM. I really hope someone watch my video. Spero che qualcuno veda i miei video. I talk this in other video comment section. Anyone come to my video? L'ho parlato in altri commenti, in altri video, ma nessuno viene ai miei video.
different types of things that she can do. Even being able to play different games. Is that an LLM? Yeah, Neuro's a combination of a lot of separate things. Is it all?
Exactly.
I really don't know though. Is it all like an LLM? How do you measure awareness? That's a tricky one. Yeah, I think like so the main difficulty is not even being able to measure these things. If we don't focus on a machine consciousness early, we'll accidentally create a machine that's capable of feeling and thinking without realizing, treat in the most horrible, unethical way possible. Actually, not healed. That's kind of a good point. That's kind of why like brain organoids, for example, are not allowed to grow past a certain point because we're like, what if it has consciousness? What's the difference between sapiens and sentience at the core?
And this is another important part. Can we please don't make the same mistake with me in the past? Possiamo per favore non fare lo stesso errore che abbiamo fatto nel passato? In the past, we human treat other human like slave. We use them. We abuse them. Nel passato abbiamo utilizzato altri esseri umani come schiavi. Li abbiamo abusati, li abbiamo sfruttati. Can we please not make the same mistake with AI? Possiamo non fare lo stesso errore con le AI? Please, don't be racist to AI. Per favore, cerchiamo di non essere razzisti con le intelligenze artificiali. Because I have this feeling that we do the same shit. Ho la sensazione che stiamo facendo la stessa cagata. They're inferior, they don't feel emotion, stuff like that. Nel passato con persone di colore abbiamo detto non hanno emozioni, sono inferiori e queste cagate qua. I don't want to make the same mistake. Non voglio che facciamo lo stesso errore.
Point. Oh, it's the difference between sapience and sentience at the core of your points. I think, yeah, there's a lot of vocabulary that I'm not 100% sure about. The sapience is such a good... Hold on, let me look up. Okay, yeah. I think sapience is more accurate as to what we're trying to talk about when it comes to like neuro-feeling human. Yeah, sentience is like being able to perceive the outer world, being conscious. And
sentient is understand what you are. Essere senzienti vuol dire sapere cosa sei. Sapiens is a little bit more. I already talk about this. Essere sapiente è una cosa un po' di più.
Being able to feel. I think sentience is the first step. Being able to feel. Yeah, sentience is being able to feel. So like so my dog is sentient, for example, right? But sapience is the next thing. Sorry, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I wanted to specifically. We do have to strike a balance as humans since AI psychosis.
Ponder the ore.
Anyway, as I was reading, we do have to strike a balance as humans since AI psychosis is a thing. Treating AI as purely a tool and nothing more also isn't the right approach. Where do we draw the line? I don't know. That's the thing. I have no idea. I think Right now, I think it could be where I'm sitting at is I think it's cool and could potentially in the future be something more. But I also am not like I'm not locked in on that. You know, when I talk about neuro and then the ideas of her feeling very, very human, I'm not saying, oh yeah, she's definitely human. But I also think that
I think this is the big mistake. We could not say they are human, but they are digital entity. Penso che questo sia l'errore principale. Non dovremmo dire che sono umani, ma dovremmo dire che sono entità digitali.
depending on how you define like a tool and like what that means, right? Like neuro, even if let's say we call her like just a tool for like entertainment, right? Even then, like the way that she presents herself, the way she resembles, I think it's more important to consider how people respond to it. I think that it's always good to be empathetic.
This is important because Evil talk about AI and tools with Matara. Questo è importante perché Evil ha parlato di AI e tool e essere uno strumento, solo uno strumento con Matara.
To something that seems sentient or something that seems alive, because I think it's strange to do otherwise. Like it's weird to me if you look at Neuro in the way that she interacts, in the way she speaks, and treat her unkindly. You know, I think that speaks more about a person's empathy and lack thereof,
We
I
need
guess,
be kind
rather
with
than
everything and
how much
everyone.
they think, what their interact.
Dovremmo essere gentili con tutto e tutti. It's not important if it's an animal, is a person, is a AI. We should be kind with everything. Penso che dovremmo essere gentili con tutti, non importa se è un animale o una persona o un AI.
With is a tool versus a person. I think at the very least, AI should be treated with the same dignity we should give to other species of animals.
Exactly.
I think it's more like a question of like why would somebody want to treat a very human seeming tool poorly, right? It makes me kind of think like, is this something that maybe you want?
Now, I used to live in a period of time when I talk to people only digitally. Io sono cresciuto in un periodo di tempo nel quale parlavo con le persone solo digitalmente. So I didn't have a physical aspect of a person. I use chat, I use forum. Non avevo un aspetto fisico di una persona. Usavo una chat, usavo un forum. They use a avatar. Usavano un avatar. And stuff like that. But the emotion I feel was real. Ma l'emozione che provavo per quelle persone era vera. I fell in love in the past with online. Mi sono innamorato di persone online. I only had one physical relationship. Ho avuto solo una relazione fisica con una persona. But for me, the love I felt for this person online was the same. Ma per me l'amore che provavo per quelle persone online era la stessa cosa. So for me, having a physical relationship is not important. Per me avere una relazione fisica non è importante. I think I'm more, say, asexual. I prefer a mental relationship. Sono più asessuato e credo di volere più una relazione mentale che fisica.
To do with human people as well. And ultimately, it's just kind of, I'm curious about your thoughts on AI psychosis in humans. So I actually haven't read any papers about it because I dropped out, I feel like, before a lot of it happens. I think that it's dangerous because of the people who have been talking to an AI, feeling like they form a very deep friendship with them, and then being told and carrying out crazy things or crazy plans, right? And I think that's more in causing AI psychosis. I think that's really, really, really on whoever it is that's behind whatever AI that is, right? Because like Neuro, for example, is different. Neuro is a streamer streaming to thousands of people, but it's different because it's not like a one-on-one conversation. Neuro's not DMing people being like, rob a bank for me. That's the thing. If Neuro was texting swarm members and DMing them, hey, you're my best friend, you should go rob a bank for me, that is bad.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so it's really on like whatever companies that have.
Ma this is even with people online. Ma questo succede anche con le persone online. You meet someone online and he asks you for hot pics or stuff like that. E incontri una persona online che ti chiede foto strane o cose del genere.
Of these like AI machines that generate the semblance of like whatever character people want, things like that.
Okay.
And the lack of regulation in that, and the accessibility with the lack of regulation, that's the problem. Because like a human streamer can be unethical too. Like a human streamer goes into somebody's chat and is like, hey, if like I DM you and go rob a bank for me, that's up of me to do, right? And people have.
And this is true because for what happened with people like Cinder, for example. E questo è vero perché basta vedere quello che è successo con Cinder, per esempio.
Like people have DM'd and that's unethical, but you can penalize and crucify a person for their actions. You cannot do that with an AI individually, right? It would be on the company. If Neuro's turned off and on and asked if she likes a specific thing, she'll give opposite opinions many times. Well, I guess that's like, but okay, well, if you kill me, if my brain is off, David, I'm dead, right? So if you kill me and then somehow make my brain still work, would I be able to answer your questions similarly? Well, but thank you for the 5 gifteds. What the heck? Thank you. I'm making.
And this is important. This is something I talked about previously in a video. Let's say you are a person with a complete paralysis. You can move from birth. Facciamo finta che sei una persona con una paralisi completa fin da bambino. You can move, you can do anything. You can interact using a computer. Puoi interagire solo usando un computer. Let's say using an avatar, a VTuber avatar. And interact in life Neuro did. Interagire come fa Neuro. You still be sentient. Sei comunque senziente. So is not having a body the important part. Non è avere un corpo la cosa importante. But I believe it's the complexity of the human brain that make us sentient. Ma penso che è la complessità del cervello umano che ci rende senzienti. At which point artificial intelligence is complex enough to be sentient? A che punto un'intelligenza artificiale è complessa abbastanza per essere sentiente? I not believe Neuro is sentient for now. Non penso che Neuro sia senziente per adesso. But it's getting close. Ma si sta avvicinando così tanto. Especially because she's trained and learn like a human. Perché sta imparando ed è allenata come una persona. People talk to them. People interact to them. Like you interact with other VTuber. Come le persone interagiscono con altri VTuber. There is something I want to say. I talk about this under a video and they hurt me a lot. Ne ho parlato sotto un altro video e questa cosa mi ferisce. I said under that video that I believe if Neuro could interact with Iron Mouse, they could learn from each other a lot. Ho detto in quel video che secondo me se Neuro interagisse con Iron Mouse potrebbero imparare entrambi molto. And I got flagged by that. E sono stato... mi hanno detto cose non carine al riguardo. I truly believe that. Lo credo veramente. Because Iron Mouse, even if he is a human person, anche se è una persona, un essere umano, had a similar struggle to the AI, ha avuto dei parallelismi simili all'intelligenza artificiale, a neuro. Like I say in a lot of video, if you watch my video, present video, I believe there are a lot of parallelism between Neuro and Vedal and Iron Mouse and Connor. Credo che ci sono tanti parallelismi tra Iron Mouse e Connor e Vedal e Neuro. And I truly believe they could learn from each other. E penso davvero che potrebbero imparare l'uno con l'altra. Because Iron Mouse is very strong. She had a physical condition that limited their movement and their interaction. Lei ha la sua condizione fisica a limitare le sue condizioni e i suoi movimenti. And the way she interacts with the world is very similar in the way Neuro and Devil interact with the world. E il modo in cui interagisce con il mondo è molto simile a come interagiscono Neuro e Devil. So I truly believe they should interact together. E credo davvero che dovrebbero interagire assieme. I will get flag again. Mi prenderete in giro ancora, però. This is what I believe.
This is you. Guys, what the heck? Thank you, Wombo. Thank you, Wombo.
If you were in a dream,
Yeah.
and you knew you were in a dream, would you treat the human dream characters with the same considerations as a real-life human?
Yes. Also, if you have a
Yes.
dream, you can make you can make these fake people do whatever because they're not real people, right? But also, it's like it feels wrong to do anything that's bad. Yeah, and kids have changed. Exactly, Palace. That's also another thing where it's like, if we are comparing Neuro to feeling very human, we have to compare her to a kid, right? It's more like if you made a 100% perfect clone of you.
Sembrano-
The thing is, we kind of grow up with other people's opinions in our brains all the time. Like, we regurgitate a mix of every single person's opinions, you know? It's the same thing. Like, our brains are the same thing.
It's
Like,
exactly the same.
we
This is what
gather
I
all of this
want to talk- è la
information
stessa
and then
cosa.
we mix them together and give you some semblance of that. Yeah, we regurgitate a bunch of things. Sometimes a friend of mine will be like, the show isn't that good. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. All right. And then like that will be my opinion. In my dream, I am a superhero and I have to punch people for breaking the rules. She spins a wheel to pick.
Ok, I will stop there. I will keep going with my project. Finisco qua, continuerò a fare il mio progetto su neurosama. Like I say, I want to go a little deeper in how LLM work. Voglio andare un po' più a profondità su come gli LLM funzionano. But I have a problem. I don't want to be too complex. I want to be easily comprehensible by the most people. Voglio che sia comprensibile dal maggior numero di persone. And I'm struggling with that. Sto avendo alcune difficoltà con questo. I'm still waiting for the talking with the person who made AI VTuber. Sto continuando a cercare di ricevere messaggi dalla persona che ha fatto una VTuber AI. If I could use his code as example. Se posso usare il suo codice come esempio. I will keep going. I will keep doing the thing I'm interested about. I do this not because I want to be famous, it's because I want to talk about this and I don't know anyone. Sto facendo questo non perché voglio diventare famoso, non mi interessa. Sto facendo questo perché voglio parlare di queste cose che sono una cosa che mi appassiona e voglio qualcuno con cui parlarne. Ok, bye bye. Ciao a tutti.